Beautiful evening. A beautiful, beautiful evening to you. Welcome to yet another exciting edition of Echo Sports on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. My name is Kachi Sports. My friends call me Manuel Sabi. And of course, as always, I am seated here this beautiful evening with another person but Nobo, the sports chef. Remember, today is Monday, the 17th day in the month of August. Nobo, good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Manuel Sabi. Good evening to those out there listening to the sound of our voices. It's a wonderful Monday. Happy New Week. That's what I'm going to tell you, people. And also, I'm going to shout out a massive congratulations to the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon and also Manchester City. Since it never starts, when I collect 3 goals against Arsenal. But another thing I can tell Arsenal is that in the past, that should be about 6-7 seasons now, the team that went on to leave the Community Shield did not go on to win the Premier League.
Maybe they want to emulate City, who did it in 2018 when they win the Shield and went on to win the league. That's the last time a team that won the Community Shield went on to win the league. Maybe they would like to emulate City.
This can they emulate City?
It is possible.
Anything is possible. You get anything is possible. You understand?
Yeah.
And like Spikers of Nigeria, it is possible that they're going to win the World Cup.
Also. Yeah.
Yes, you understand.
Right.
Very, very beautiful.
It's all right. All right, let's take you on without wasting much of your time. Remember, we told you here precisely last week that a particular competition for the under-15 talents in Imo State will get on the way, and that particular competition got on the way on Saturday, talking about the Dan Anyiam under-15 football tournament. That particular competition got on the way. About 16 teams, under-15 teams in Imo State have assembled for what has promised to be a scintillating tournament for the young lads. You only need to be around and watch these guys and know that talents are everywhere. What we need is structure to boost these talents. Well, the competition started on Saturday as Sunny FC of Orlu thrashed Jahrule FC of Eziobodo by 2-0. And of course, yesterday, due to the bad weather, the competition did not continue. But this evening, a match also has taken place, and that's between Owerri and Campus FC. Campus FC, courtesy of a young man known as Somto Chukwu Njamanze, who scored 3 goals. One of them a very wonderful free kick volley, made it 3-0. They also thrashed their opponent. Talking about Campus FC, they beat their counterpart. They called them Owerri Academy by 3-0. The competition continues tomorrow, and I tell you something, Noble, it's display of talent and young talents who are just ready, budding. But the question is, can we move it on from this particular level?
Well, we've been out, all these competitions that come through, we have always asked the question, is it a one-time thing or is it going to be something that will come up as the year goes by? But ultimately, it's an opportunity for the young stars to come through, grassroots development, catch them young, and let's see where it goes from there.
All right, moving on now and talking about the problem that Noble started earlier. I am not the one that started it. Well, Cameroon cruised into a 3-0 victory over tournament debutants Malawi to claim their first ever women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON title. It was a star striker, Maria Ngamanga, close-range header that put the indomitable Lionesses ahead in the 20th minute, and then Naomi Eto'o doubled the lead with a stunning volley in the first half. Then that was what it was, and then but it didn't end up there. The Central African side, talking about Cameroon, made it 3-0 in the 3rd minute of the first half added time as Eto'o rounded off Malawi goalkeeper Mercy Sikelo and put the ball on a platter of gold for striker Maria Ngamanga to double her, her goals of the night. Malawi, the lowest ranked side at the WAFCON 2020, is ranked 153rd before that particular competition in the world, reached the final on the back of an attacking prowess that was displayed by 2 sisters, talking about the Chawinga sisters, Tabitha and the Temwa. However, the Scotchers stars were well marshaled by the Cameroonian defense, who ensured the Southern Africans were unable to secure a fairy tale ending for their unexpected run at the tournament. Ngamanga missed a glorious chance to complete a hat-trick on the night and secure the golden boot outrightly 3 minutes into the second half, when she went past Sikelo but fired wide from just 6 yards as the goal mat was just yawning. The Scorchers had their best chance just after the half-whack hammer, and that was when Cameroon goalkeeper Mikaeli Bihami, as they know her, saved the low effort from Tabitha Chewangwa before her young sister turned and fired round wide. Cameroon's triumph is all more remarkable given the Indomitable Lionesses missed the 2024 edition of WAFCON and failed to qualify for these finals, losing 3-1 on aggregate to Algeria in their second round. However, the Central Africans advanced to the tournament on the strength of their world ranking after the Confederation of African Football CAF expanded the finals to from 12 to 16, just like you said the other day. And let's begin from the fact that these Lionesses, they've lost to Nigeria in 3 finals in the past, but then they beat Nigeria now. Of course, it was like they were on their way to winning it after they removed those who have stopped them 3 consecutive times.
We normally say the Egyptians you see today, you will not see them no more. So for the Cameroonians, it's more of the Nigerians you see today, you don't see them anymore. And they knocked them off quite early in the game because all Nigerians were looking forward to a final repeat or showdown between Nigeria and Morocco. Should Nigeria have beaten Cameroon, they would have gone on to meet Morocco. But ultimately, both Nigeria and Morocco fell. For Morocco to fall to Cameroon, and then it was a glorious run for Cameroon, beating the defending champions and also a country that you normally see whenever you meet at this particular stage. Now, them, they always beat you. Now, 3 times you made it to the finals. You've been finalists 3 times. You've met the same opposition, and the same opposition are the ones who are responsible for you not taking up the trophy and going home. And then finally, you were able to. 1 goal was enough. All they needed was just to beat Nigeria. I'm going to say that Bahina actually won the WAFCON. Permit me to say that. It was Bahina that won the WAFCON and not Cameroon. But ultimately, goals win you games. So I'm going to say it's a collective effort. Kudos to the girls, the Indomitable Lionesses. They showed up. The team captain, she has actually been at the WAFCON for about 6-7 appearances. Records have it that she has made more appearances than any other. And then this is her first trophy. I came across a post from a Cameroonian journalist earlier today, and she was like, "You can go and rest. You can go and retire. You fought so gallantly. 4 finals and you managed to win 1." And ultimately, Cameroonians will be definitely, they'll be more than happy with the performances of the girls. Particularly, I'm also going to look into the team that they played, Malawi. Malawi, with what I saw, had just the starting 11. Yeah, they had just their
when it comes to substitution,
11.
it was equal for them.
Against Nigeria, they made just 2 substitutions going into other games. They came up against Egypt. It was not a ride in the park. They lost to Zambia. They lost just 2 times at this particular WAFCON, and somehow they were the finals. Well, ultimately, when you look at how they went through, it was the Chawinga sisters that were powering them through. Most people brought up the question, when you look at Barbara Banda, she got 5 goals, and then Chawinga, the highest goal scorer who was given the golden boot, got 5 goals, and everyone will be like, what happened? But I believe the perks could have been, okay, Chawinga fired the team to the finals, and then yes, Banda's heroics, it should be put into account, but ultimately, this lady was able to push her team to the finals. Ultimately, they didn't win it. And then kudos to the Cameroonians who went on to actually lead. It was a Cameroonian. Bahina was given the Golden Glove. When you go down to that should be the number 11. The name,
player of the tournament.
The player of the tournament. Also, the Cameroon was more like a scoop. And then that final was a Cameroonian that definitely 3-0. Even it would have been 4, but they cancelled that one. So that was the dominance of the Cameroonians. They had the starting 11. They had a substitute that could come in and do damage, but they didn't need their substitutes in that final. The damage was already done. About 40-45 minutes, the damage was already done in that particular encounter against the Malawians. This is just a wake-up call for the Malawians, where they have to. The coach going into this game said that this is a journey that has happened, that's been on its way for the past 4 years. They would have been at the previous edition, but reports had it that because of financial issues, financial constraints. They couldn't make it to the finals of the WAFCON, but this time around they made it to the WAFCON, made it to the competitions finals. They picked up the WAFCON ticket. They just picked the right moment, the right edition to qualify. Now it's taking them to the World Cup. Hopefully they're not going to have financial constraints going into the World Cup. But a beautiful one. Chawinga sisters, a lesson learned, as well as the coach. And then I'm also going to give kudos to the Cameroonian coach, lady, homegrown coach. And whenever the team scores, I watched a couple of clips of about the lady. Whenever the team scores, you see her, she gives her this little smile. She doesn't celebrate much. She just give her this little smile and just open a jotter like she's noting out. I don't know if she's Ruben Amorim. But ultimately, it was a beautiful one. Samuel Leto, the president of Feco Foods.
Was so excited.
When you look at it, you ask, if most people wouldn't know, definitely we're preaching about the unrest in the footballing sector of Cameroon. But most people, with the scenes that was shown, Cameroonian President Samuel Leto coming out, hugging the ladies, giving them even the pictures that arose when they were at their jets, jetting back home. Earlier this morning, they came through and they showed their this. And then, unfortunately, they're not going to have a presidential handshake because their president is not around. He's in Geneva, and they say almost 70 days now he has been in Geneva. But he FaceTimed them. He FaceTimed them and congratulated them. Ultimately, maybe we see if they go give them landed properties and you know. But ultimately, congratulations to Cameroon.
Congratulations to Cameroon, and also congratulations to Malawi. It's not easy, you know, to come to a debut WAFCON. There have been countries that have been coming even from the onset until now. They've not made it to the final. It's not easy for them.
Look at Ghana. Okay. Ghana never win WAFCON.
I know just one. All right, moving on and coming back home a bit. Sporting Lagos did something yesterday. They have become the champions of the 2026 ValueJet Cup after they beat Remo Stars by 2-1 in the final on Sunday. Aliyu Baba and Sadiq Ayode were on target for Sporting Lagos, while Taiwo Oyetunde scored for Remo Stars as the Lagos-based side secure victory in the final. Sporting Lagos, success caps an impressive campaign in the off-season tournament, which brings together leading Nigerian clubs alongside other teams, providing teams with opportunity to fine-tune their squad ahead of the new campaign. The 2026 edition was played from August 9th to 16th, of course, at the Remo Star Stadium in Ikene, Ogun State. The ValueJet has increasingly become an important competition because what it provides, for the MPFL teams and those that play it is, a kind of preparatory tournament. Just like some of the other, big clubs in the world go to some tournaments to get themselves fine-tuned and prepared ahead, of the season. So, Remo Stars, this time they were beaten at home, and Sporting Lagos is beginning to make bigger statements in the Nigerian football segment.
Oh, yes, and also shows that the woes of the past years are still haunting Remo Stars. Remember, Remo Stars, they didn't do proficiently well at the CAF Champions League, despite being the defending champions of the MPFL. And also the fact that one season you were the MPFL champion, the next season you were battling for relegation. Ultimately, you were relegated. It's giving out this story. I would like to put it as fairy tale story of Leicester City from qualifying. And Enzo Maresca qualified them to the Premier League, and then the next season, after that season that he qualified them, they went back to they relegated from the championship. From championship, they went down to League 1. So it's League 1. So it's more. Remo Stars a lot needs to be, because at some point Remo Stars they were a joy to watch. They were a team to beat from the southwest. You get teams like Interligos, Sporting Ligos. When they come through, they will definitely be looking forward to Remo Stars. Be like their big brother. Be like their big brother for southwest. And now you see Sporting Ligos. Sporting Ligos seems to be the team with a younger setup, looking at a driving force for the southern team and also for the Lagos Football Association. They've been doing brilliantly well with that particular team, and then another trophy into the bag for the not just Sporting Lagos but also the entirety of Lagos, because now when you look here and there in Lagos, you see a lot of academies that are doing brilliantly well, and also
it's showing off in what we're seeing from that.
The senior team is there, the academy is there. You can see Sporting Lagos, Interligos having their team go over to the Gotia Cup and going over to Sweden, going over to Spain and all the rest, coming back with trophies and also getting to foreign clubs sign players, and that is money in the bag for clubs. The deal, they know, it seems like the Lagos FA, they know the business part of football, and they are doing it brilliantly well. You can see how the Southwest teams are actually doing brilliantly. Let's see how Sporting Lagos are going to thrive. They finished, they were in the top 7 last season, MPFL. And then they are looking forward to a better place and probably an opportunity to make it into the continent. And also there are reports here and there in the circle of the Nigerian Football Federation as well as the NSC that they are trying to I'm going to say this now more like a period that they remember to wake up. They are now eyeing the CAF Champions League. But and actually onion pokre with in short here. So at the moment we don't have I didn't pokre when I want football.
Too bad.
You understand?
Too bad.
From a team from where we had the Arsenal, where we had the capability, we could make London Bridge fall. We could look at any devil, regardless of where the devil is coming from, be from Manchester or from Belgium, and shoot them down. But look at our footballing system. The Women's World Cup will not be there. The Under-20 World Cup will not be there. Under-17 World Cup will not be
Obviously
there. And it's just like Joe Pedro said, it's a free fall, honestly.
All right, we're going to leave football a bit. We'll still come back to football in a jiffy. Just to let you know that Nigeria's Navy rating and volleyball referee, known as Abdullateef Busari, has been selected as the only Nigerian official to officiate at the 2026 African Under-18 Volleyball Championship that will be taking place in Egypt. Busari's appointment represents a very, very important achievement for Nigerian volleyball officiating, as it has placed the country's refereeing talent and professionalism on the continental stage. Now, his selection also highlights growing recognition of Nigerian officials within African volleyball as he joins other top referees from across the continent for the championship. The 2026 African Under-18 Volleyball Nations Championship is expected, to bring together young and talented and some of the finest young volleyball talents, with Busari entrusted with the responsibility of contributing to the smooth and fair conduct of that particular competition. Also, Nigerians men and women's beach volleyball teams, they have jetted out of the country for the 2026 African Beach Volleyball Championship in Alexandria, Egypt. Like I told you, the Nigerian contingent will represent the country at the Continental Championship as they battle against some of Africa's best beach volleyball teams of course, around at the moment. The tournament in Alexandria is expected to provide a major platform for Nigeria players to test themselves against top oppositions while they compete at the continent. The teams will focus definitely on their preparations ahead of the championship as Nigeria seeks stronger performance at the African stage. Now, let's bring you back again to football. Nigerian Sports Commission, shortly or somebody say briefly known as the National Sports Commission, NSC. They have cancelled the Nigerian Football Federation Electoral Congress that is scheduled to take place for September 27th in Lafia, Nasarawa State, as part of plans to reorganize the country's football administration. Now, the decision, if eventually come to reality, will be a major blow to the Ibrahim Gushaw-led NFF Executive Committee, which have been seeking to be re-elected, of course, after they have assumed the office for 4 years with nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, the presidency has kicked, talking about Nigerian presidency now, they have kicked against the former NFF president, Ahmad Jumev Pinnick, to lead the nominalization committee while the NSC continue the search for a replacement. The NSC is now expected to constitute a 3-month nominalization committee to oversee the affairs of Nigerian football and prepare the group for a fresh NFF election. The decision to stop the electoral process was reportedly taken last Thursday following the Super Falcons elimination by the South African Bayana in the African playoffs for the 2027 Women Cup of Nations that is going on in Morocco. Now, let's go on to let you know that Nigeria's senior women national team had featured at every FIFA World Cup competition from 1991 when it started till this particular moment that they will not be around. Sources familiar to that particular development said that NSC had sought assurances from World Football Governing Body, that's FIFA, before proceeding with the planned intervention. The commission was also said to have engaged FIFA President Gianni Infantino and CAF President Patrice Motsepe over the situation. With Goshaw administration effectively out of immediate equation, the NSC was initially reported to have considered former NFF President Jahrule FC as chairman of the so-called proposed nomination committee. However, that proposal reportedly met resistance from senior officials in the presidency. The presidency has subsequently given NSC the go-ahead to announce the committee with 48 hours, although its final composition remained unclear as at yesterday. The source also disclosed that some senior officials in the presidency had raised objections to the NSC reported plan to return Dr. Muhammad Sanusi as secretary of the committee. According to the source, a key figure in the presidency had traveled out of Abuja and was expected to return on Monday or Tuesday, after which the formal composition of the committee would be made public. The proposed normalization committee is expected to run Nigerian football for 3 months and address some of the problems facing Nigerian football. I want to stand on my knees and thank the Nigerian presidency. Please, you should stand your ground. We don't want Oga Boss, Jahrule FC, as well as Oga Sanusi, to be part of this normalization committee. They have been part of Nigerian football for a long time now, and they have done their best. We can thank them that they have done their best. You know, whenever a nation has a football body has issues like this is what is done. It was done in Cameroon, set up a normalization committee that will look into the matter, and then, of course, set aside the body that's there.
Well, at the moment, there's no crisis. There's no crisis in the NFF.
No, there's none.
There's no crisis. And then, when you go down to the FIFA books, FIFA frowns at there's zero tolerance to third-party and government intervention whenever it comes down to the Football Federation of any nation. Because first, when you go over to the Article 14 and Article 19 of FIFA statutes, these core articles state that all member associations are obliged to manage their internal affairs independently. They explicitly say that no external bodies, including governments, ministries, or politicians, can dictate how an association runs. That's one. Going over to Article 2, Paragraph 2, talking about the electoral independence. This rule strictly outlaws government interference in the electoral process or the composition of an association's executive boards. National laws governing elections cannot be applied to internal football bodies, nor can a federation's internal voting rules require government approval.
I don't think anybody has intervened.
What the
president said is
they are cancelled. That is intervention.
What is
they have no right to cancel the forthcoming election.
No.
That is what the FIFA. That is what the FIFA rule.
The Nigerian president is not cancelled. Get this. It was the NS, Nigerian Sports Commission, which is an independent body of the sports now.
When it comes down to NSC, when NSC and we're also going down to football. NSC covers sports. Then NFF handles football.
Get
NFF is the football federation.
Under NSC.
Now, looking at how things come in Nigeria,
NFF is not NSC.
What FIFA recognizes, the football administration that FIFA recognizes is the NFF.
I don't know if you get what
I get. I'm putting it across to you.
I'm coming now. NSC, just get this news well. NSC, Nigerian Sports Commission, which NFF is under, they are not saying that they are. What they are doing is they said that based on the fact that they have observed this and that, that the election to come up is not NSC is a sports commission.
When FIFA is sending a message across to Nigeria,
and NSC also said that they have.
Who are they going to liaise with? When FIFA, isn't it the NFF?
Nigerian sports body.
Is it not the NFF?
That's what I'm telling you.
That is
NSC said they have reached out to Infantino as well as...
From my own... When it comes down to how things go through, I feel that this is not the right move to go through, cancelling this and then writing. But anyway, according to the report from there, it says that they've written to FIFA
as well as CAF,
waiting for FIFA's approval to appoint a 3-month normalization committee. So let's wait on the reaction from FIFA concerning this. But when you go down to FIFA laws, talking about third parties and also government intervention. There's a zero tolerance.
No, there's no
There's a zero tolerance
yeah, sure.
concerning that coming from FIFA, and also going down to elections being held when it comes down to your circle. And this is where it's. I feel it should, because when it comes through to CAF, before you run for an election, you step down. When you're also going down to most of these club sides,
the issue of normalization has always been there. It happened in Cameroon. It has happened in other countries.
Where I'm pointing the fingers into is when it comes through to those who will be looking forward to running for elections. They should come through to step down. You're not the president, you're not the general secretary, whichever sports that you want to run, you should step down. I feel that is how things should go down, and then those who will be in charge, there should be some kind of an interim management that will handle things until when it comes down to that electoral date, the election should be held, and then ultimately, if there are new individuals that came through, if you win, if you get a return ticket, fine and good, you go over and continue where you start. But as things stand, where the body, when it comes down to opposition have voiced out their concerns concerning Amaju Pinnick coming down to lead the committee that is said to have to lead the committee. And then the opposition party have come out to say, no, we don't want this man, we don't want him, because now looking at someone who at some point was a former president of the organization, I feel at some point you could see that he may be biased based off on definitely and also one or two people may have come out across to him and told you, okay, this is where this is what I want to. And so ultimately, I feel these are the concerns of the opposition, and they didn't want that. And also, I feel
the opposition here, I don't think we can use the word opposition, because even at the moment there has not been any body that has come out to say, okay, they are competing for the president.
Well,
there will be.
Statement says opposition.
No,
so I'm going through with the statement.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about normalization committee. This normalization committee actually happens. It's FIFA allowed that a situation whereby a particular country's FA, there is a need for clarity or issues that need to be thrashed out going into election or something like that, that a normalization committee should be set, and it can be not more than 3 months for them to take care of things and chart a way forward or look for a direction for the country's football fraternity. I think that's what's happening. NSC themselves, like I told you, NFF is under NSC. NSC themselves are now saying that they want that election. It's not only, it's the NSC, National Sports Commission, that said they would want to set up a normalization committee based off on the huge failure of Nigerian football, the under-17 not going anywhere, the under-20 not going anywhere, the Olympic team, the Super Eagles, the what do you call them now, the Super Falcons, no Nigerian national team, be the age grade or the senior team, are going to any competition, and that the danger of it being the fact that Nigerian players will lack that exposure which is gotten at the World Cup stage. Remember, the last of Kanu Wankwo, the last of so many other players were discovered when they went for under 18 recently, and that was the last time. I think that was almost the last time. That was when Manela Muneke won it in 2015. That was the last time a Nigerian player through the under 17 World Cup got that exposure. Now, we're not talking about Victor Osimhen, and the rest of them, which were the last set of players. Check how many editions we have missed, and check how many players of Nigeria that have missed a chance of using that kind of opportunity to get exposed to the world and move into the world. But what we're saying is this: based off from that, I think it is stakeholders that are now saying Nigerian football should be looked into. Probably, like I'm saying, that's why NSC are saying we want to set up, hold on with that Lafia, electoral congress. We want to set up a normalization committee to look and chart out a way forward. But where I think the word presidency was mentioned, or where people are frowning at it, is the people that the rumor is going about that will constitute, you understand, members of the normalization committee, because these are still old names. These are still familiar. Those who have been running it for over the years, either directly or indirectly, people are now saying that, look, these people should at least step aside. Let new faces, new hands to come.
Another thing that it's very funny with this particular development is based off on the fact, assuming I just want, assuming probably the Super Eagles of Nigeria qualified for the World Cup, and okay, if the Super Eagles didn't qualify for the World Cup, the Super Falcons won the WAFCON and qualified for the World Cup, and the Super Eagles dropped, would they have actually come out and say that, okay, there's a need to actually look into what's going on? Because it's also, if Super Falcons or the Super Eagles had qualified, I feel the election would have gone through. Well, they would have set up this normalization committee, because this normalization, this development came through because of the growing criticism under the NFF administration, which was led by Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau. If Nigerian Super Eagles or Super Falcons would have qualified, they would have seen a need to actually reshape the future.
But if the Super Falcons have qualified, that will be part of the job. That's what they were put there to do. If you've done what you're put there to do, why will anybody come for scrutiny? What I'm saying in effect is this: yeah, you're right. These are the reasons. I think it have been listed. But again, I know that maybe the angle you're coming from is what if they have gone? Maybe you wouldn't be calling for the need. There wouldn't have been a call for this particular thing. But at the end of the day, they didn't go. So the call intensified. Although there has been call over the years, but then it intensifies based on the porous outing of our national team, sir. But let's travel a bit to Gambia to let you know that Gambia will now return to playing at home. That's because a particular, for some time now, Gambia have not been playing at home. But the Gambia team now will return to play international football on home soil after Confederation of African Football CAF approve Independence Stadium in Bakau to host the country's opening 2027 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Somalia. The approval ends a prolonged period in which the Scorpions of Gambia were forced to play their home matches away from Gambia due to concerns surrounding the condition and suitability of their venue. Well, it's not only in Nigeria that stadiums are being, checkmated. Well, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has come out to, congratulate Cameroon for their achievement, winning the, WAFCON for the first time, and he also congratulated Malawi for making it there. Let's travel abroad now. Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher has come out to say he does not believe Manchester United current manager, talking about Michael Carrick, will win the Premier League or Champions League with the club. Carrick took a permanent charge of the Red Devils after initially taking the role on an interim basis and guided the club to a third-place finish last season, securing a Champions League qualification. However, Garragher, former Liverpool player, believes Carrick can help United establish themselves as a Champions League club, but question whether he has the quality required to take the team to the biggest trophies. Do you agree with Carrick?
Well, how would you know if he would be the man to take United to Champions League glory or Premier League glory if you don't give him the opportunity?
But he's saying even though he has the opportunity now, he doesn't see him as someone who can do that.
I feel the Manchester United squad, they do not have the capability of winning the Premier League or even the Champions League. That is what I feel.
Are you whining me here?
I'm being honest with you. When you look at it, the team is actually thin. They don't have the depth. Manchester United do not have the depth to play. They are going to struggle this season.
With the way they played towards the end of last season,
Michael Carrick, look at the way they were washed away by AC Milan. Because yes, certain changes were brought into, certain changes actually killed the game for Michael Carrick, which he definitely will need to learn from it going into the Premier League, which is going to start this Friday. And ultimately, going into the fact that you have a striker, Benjamin Sesko, who you are not certain would give you 25 to 27 games to be played.
Games,
not even goals. Games to be played because of his injury concerns. When you go over to left back position, you literally have just to look sure because Michael Carrick wants to make use of Dogo as a left-sided attacker. And then when you come into midfield, you are looking at a possibility of making use of two midfield people, and then in a situation where you take away Bruno Fernandes, who is the main creator in that particular team, who are you going to rely on?
So you agree with
now going on, no, when it comes through to the fact that I agree to him to a certain point, but when it comes through to him saying that Michael Carrick is not the one, when you see a certain man who came in as an assistant coach and his first team experience, it took him 4 years before he won the Premier League. I'm talking about Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta left Manchester City as an assistant coach under Pep Guardiola. He won the FA Cup, and then 4 years down the line, he won nothing. He won absolutely nothing. And then he was very, very close to missing out. We know how the season ended. Manchester City were very close to doing the same thing that they did over the years. And Arsenal were very close to doing what they did. At some point, they brought up an adjective that when someone bottles the league, the person has Arsenal it. That was how bad it was. So one thing is, look at what is on ground at this very moment. He has steadied the ship for Manchester United, got them Champions League.
So why not go ahead and win
at the moment, no. At the moment, he definitely is going to build. He's going to build from there.
Okay.
He's going to build from there,
all right, Carrick,
and then grow
Carrick,
from
if you're watching
into
now,
the
you
game.
have someone who
understand.
agrees with
you're looking at Garragher is always a man. He's a controversial human being when it comes down to that punditry job. So he definitely will come out to say, and then you see reactions will flood in, and then you see inside he's just trying to get insights, and everyone will get making himself relevant. You understand? But ultimately, tell him to step into the shoes of Michael Carrick.
No, don't go there, please. he plays as he analyzes. In his playing days, we know what he did in Liverpool. Don't go there, please.
Is it a red card? Is it a red card?
Don't go there, please.
Probably Chelsea would have signed him if he was still playing.
All right, moving on now. Chelsea forward. You mentioned Chelsea, so let's take Chelsea. Chelsea forward Jao Pedro has emerged as the Premier League's leading preseason scorer, giving the new campaign a glimpse of his attacking threat ahead of the Friday's EPL kickoff. EPL noted that the Brazilian scored 7 goals during Chelsea's preparation, including a remarkable 9-minute hat-trick against Western Sydney Wanderers and brace against AC Milan and the Real Sociedad. Well, Aston Villa teenager Brian Maggio is the next with 5 goals. A boy to watch out. The 17-year-old also scored against Champions League holder Paris Saint-Germain in the UEFA Super Cup play. But he missed Villa's final friendly against Borussia Mönchengladbach amid reports of an injury. Nottingham Forest Igor Jesus and Crystal Palace midfielder Matheus Franca, both of them have 4 goals. Jesus scored all 4 in July and did not feature against Stade Brest's 29, while Franca scored 3 against Sweden Town. Now, with the Premier League season beginning on Friday, August the 21st, the preseason scoring chart after an early indication of the players arriving in form. Tzolis of the new import for Arsenal lead Premier League preseason assist. Arsenal summer signing Tzolis has recorded the most assists by a Premier League player during the preseason, with 6 heading into the new campaign. Tzolis provided 2 assists in Arsenal's Community Shield victory over Man City, and also earned a fantasy assist after winning a penalty against Borussia Dortmund. Man City's Antonio Semenyo follows with 5 assists, 4 more matches, while Aston Villa's Emiliano Buendia has 4. The figures offer an early indication of the players who could make impact when the Premier League gets underway on Friday.
Definitely, but the one I am looking at, it's Tzolis. Chrsto Tzolis, the new man coming in from Braga in Belgium, where he past season he recorded 17 goals and about 25 assists, and then he showed that he's the man. He's more of a creator. A goal and 5 assists in as many games that he has played in this preseason tournament with Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta has praised him, and also going down to the fact that he equaled the record that David Beckham had in the Community Shield when it comes down to the fact that far back during the playing days of David Beckham with Manchester United, he recorded a brace in Manchester United's game. That's Manchester United against Newcastle United. Then you have Tzolis ever since the playing days of Beckham with Manchester United. Tzolis comes in with an assist. He assisted the second goal, and then and as well as Odegaard's goal brilliantly when it comes down to having about 5 to 6 touches in the box, and also was able to track back as well. He had a couple of interceptions helping the defensive line for Arsenal. So that's a man that Gabriel Martinelli needs to be wary about when it comes down to sending him to the bench. For Jao Pedro. Jao Pedro, yes, he has been brilliant, and when you look at how he has actually contributed to a couple of success stories for Chelsea going into the preseason. Also, eyebrows were raised when he was not called up by Ancelotti going into the World Cup. But ultimately, this man, yes, he got a hat-trick against Western Sydney Wanderers in their first preseason game, which was a ding-dong affair. The 6-4 that game, and then going over to getting a brace against AC Milan and also a brace against Real Sociedad. But ultimately, these are friendly games where you can see that coaches are testing out tactical approaches, and ultimately, it's going to be, yes, he was able to get goals across the board for the Chelsea side last season, but ultimately you have to understand that this is a team that is going into the Premier League with a new tactical approach, new formation, new manager when it comes down to the 3-5-2-1 formation that Xabi Alonso may want to employ. And he's going to try to have his own beats and also try to make his own bed. They say the way you make your bed, now so you lie on top and you understand. So he will try to make his own bed, but ultimately, I feel that it's going to be a struggle for him going into the Premier League, where he would actually get to play against the likes of where he goes down to seeing the likes of Ipswich, Coventry City. Let's just a bit of that. You're not going to see Western City, Sydney Wanderers, where you're going to. But ultimately, he's a good player. And then Semenyo, who has stated that it's actually a breath of fresh air playing under Enzo Maresca. But you can see that he was a bit caged against Arsenal. You understand? So you can see that it's going to be a whole different ball game going into the Premier League, because now this is you going into playing 35, 36 matches. Games. You're going to play, okay, for Chelsea, they're going to play once a week, but going over to Manchester City and Semenyo definitely has to understand that it's no longer Bournemouth. Yes, he got a couple of goals coming in from January, but this is your first full season, so you have to update and you have to improve your performances, because you're now in a team that they'll demand more from you. You might be a 10-goal player, but going into Manchester City, definitely you have to upgrade, getting into about 20 goals and also getting into your assists. But on the assist side, yes, a brilliant one where you have a goal machine like Erling Haaland and having Semenyo who can walk the ball and get the ball into the box. Ultimately, also looking at that man who was nowhere to be found, who they brought in for about £117 million. But I guess a ministry that has rice in it, you see no chop rice.
Now you do yourself. All right, in case you just join us, it's still Echo Sports on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. This show comes your way, of course, every weekday, Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 7:30. We are live on Facebook on Echo FM 100.7. Echo FM, that's our Facebook page. You can join us on Facebook and be part of the conversation. Of course, it's time for us to also open the phone line, as has been our tradition in recent time, before we go and talk about the Air Community Shield match.
0911 20,022, 0911 20,022, or 0707 454 1014, 0707 454 1014. You can also send in your WhatsApp reactions via the number 0707 491 3438, 0707 491 3438, as well as go on to Facebook, Echo 100.7 FM or Echo FM. Drop in your reactions, and we're definitely going to read it out as much as we can carry. Definitely, we'll ensure that we get your reactions on how Manchester City won. Okay, they didn't win against us.
Make you no go make mistake. All right. Arsenal versus Man City has kind of become the Premier League battle royale of late. Why? Now, City have been a thorn on the flesh of Arsenal during the days of Pep Guardiola, and that lasted for a couple of time. But now what happened? Mikel Arteta has finally shown his mettle as manager of the Gunners, taking them to a long overdue English top flight, and of course coming close to a maiden Champions League versus Paris Saint-Germain last season. Yesterday, as the league is about to get underway, Arsenal didn't just beat City, they thrashed City after scoring in the first minute of the match, and of course going on to score 2 more goals to make it 3-0 over a City side that were looking lethargic and totally absent. Some fans on the pitch yesterday raised placard saying we miss Pep Guardiola. And I dare ask, already?
Well, when you are used to the winning, now Manchester City definitely made it.
I'm not asking this too early.
Made it no fall into the same issue Manchester United fall inside. You understand? Manchester United were so used to winning under Sir Alex Ferguson that when Moyes came through, when Rafriagni came through, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, looking at a lot of coaches have come through, but where's Man U now? Where are they? They measure when you come through to seeing. Yes, they won the FA Cup. Yes, they won the Carabao Cup. Also going to win the Europa League, but ultimately Premier League, Champions League is still far from Manchester United. And ultimately, and this is a man, he has proven, like I've been saying, Enzo Maresca is someone who has a winner's mentality, and also he was at some point under the tutelage of Pep Guardiola. He won the championship with Leicester City. He won the Club World Cup with Chelsea. So it didn't all start perfect. It wasn't a smooth ride, but ultimately, when you look at how things have turned about, may Manchester City fans carry on for head. See, there's this record, but it's no longer with the Pep Guardiola is no longer at the helm of affairs. Whenever they lose the Community Shield, they go on to win the Premier League. Under Pep Guardiola, about 4 different occasions it has happened. Pep Guardiola, but now there's no Pep Guardiola, but there's a certain Enzo Maresca who was at some point in the backroom staff that had Mikel Arteta as well. Mikel Arteta is doing well in London. Now this is Manchester, not London, so you understand.
All
so
right, I do.
Eventually, let's see how it goes through.
Anyway,
can Manchester City win the Premier League?
That's a big question. Now, anyway, in a game, of course, that was very interesting. Like we said, Tzolis also come up making 2 assists as Arsenal were able to, thrash the former champions by 3-0 in a match that their captain, Odegaard, got the last goal for the Gunners. Well, interestingly, whether that will be enough for a reprieve under Maresca, we will know how that goes. But then, like many people will always say, just a Community Shield, anything could happen. Now, the new Premier League season kicks off on Friday, August the 21st. 20 clubs will compete over 38 matches for the English Championship, European sports, and to avoid relegation. 3 teams have been promoted from the championship, as you know, and there are 9 English teams playing Europe competition this particular season. Preparations are in full swing. Training camps, friendlies, and final squad decisions are currently being made as it is. On August the 21st, the 35th edition of the Premier League will finally be underway. Defending champions Arsenal will host newly promoted Coventry City at the Emirates Stadium, when 2 former players also will be standing side by side in the dugout. Mikel Arteta versus Lampard on Friday.
Until then, I'm gonna know you can't go first. You understand? Obola no Community Shield, and then for Lampard is coming through as a championship winner. He didn't make that movement, leaving Coventry City, probably going over to America. Enzo Maresca did that, leaving Leicester, going over to Chelsea. So now, instead, he's actually stacking up the squad. He has brought in, Frank Onyeka signed permanently after going to Coventry. Awoniyi just joined yesterday. The deal has been completed. And also a couple of players that they've actually brought in to fortify the squad. But ultimately, championship squads, when they come into the Premier League, they shake a bit. But let's also not forget the fact that at some point, Leeds were forced to reckon with when they came through from the championship.
Now they are giving people headache.
That's their first. That's under Marcelo Bielsa thereabouts, and then they went to sabbatical to championship, and they're back, and also they are doing brilliantly well. And also you can see the likes where you look at Brighton. Brighton came through, and they've been huffing and they're puffing, and it just seems like they don't know when to stop. You get so now Coventry City, they pose a different threat. This is not a Premier League threat. This is a threat that when you look at Frank Lampard, he has a Premier League experience as both a player and as a coach, and definitely going into this, let's call it a second missionary journey in the Premier League, he definitely would not want to see Arsenal running one or two around him with this Coventry City side. So ultimately, it's going to be a whole lot to watch out, because now these are the defending champions coming up against championship winners.
Champion. All right. Now, okay, let's also know that like we said, there will be a couple of matches in the first week, beginning from Friday. Let's see how it's going to be. 3 teams already have been promoted, like you said earlier on, from the championship. They are here now, West Ham United. But, I'm talking about the teams that were relegated. Relegated. We're talking about West Ham, Burnley, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. 3 of them were relegated, and we got 3 teams, 2 traditional teams, to be part of this particular season. The traditional team that got back Coventry under Frank Lampard secured, of course. We also have Ipswich Town, who went back and returned, and then Hull City that have come. Then on Saturday, we are going to be having Hull City versus Manchester United, Crystal Palace versus Everton. That's on Saturday. Ipswich Town will be hosting Sunderland. Leeds will be traveling to Nottingham Forest. Then on that Saturday, Brentford versus Tottenham Hotspur. Brighton and Hove Albion versus Aston Villa. Then on Sunday, we'll have City facing Bournemouth. And then Newcastle United versus Liverpool. And then on Monday, for the last match of the first week, Fulham will be at home to Chelsea. Very interesting week is going to be. There's no doubt about that. But let's see what the new league will look like. Now, let's go back to our phone lines in case you want to begin to make your contributions now. People are calling us earlier about who we are talking.
0911 20,022, 0911 20,022, or 0707 454 1014, 0707 454 1014.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the show. Hello, good evening and welcome to the show. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the show, bro.
Okay.
All right. Could be network, could be whatever. Good evening and welcome to the show. Oh. All right, in France, 10-man loans deny Paris Saint-Germain their second trophy in 5 days as Florent Thauvin first half goal secured a 1-0 victory in the French Champions Trophy on Sunday. Lens were worthy winners in their first match under new coach Dino Topomela, adding to French Cup title they won under previous boss Pierre Saguet in May. PSG, who beat Aston Villa on Wednesday in the UEFA Super Cup, struggled to find their flow at Lens. Starred Bellore Delis, despite host having Kylian Antonio sent off in the first half. Paris will turn their attentions now to the start of the Ligue 1 title defense at home against Rennes in a week time. They will be without Portugal defender Nuno Mendes for that particular match after he was dismissed late on. Lens, run up in Ligue 1 behind Paris Saint-Germain last season, qualified for this match by winning their first ever French Cup with a 3-1 final victory over Nice. Luis Enrique named the strong side, making just 3 changes to those that won Aston Villa a week on. PSG also made the most of their man advantage before the break, but Desiredo's effort, of course, caressed the bar, and that was it for Paris Saint-Germain. Lens did something impressive last night.
Yeah, but let's see. The league is different from the cup, and they've shown that they want to actually get the very best when it comes down to cup competitions. They did it in the French Cup, and now they are doing it in the Champions Trophy, and they are the champions of the champions, as the French Cup champions and the league champions met. Now they pushed PSG to the wall at the end of last season, but ultimately it was PSG that claimed all glory, and now this is a new season, new rivalry.
PSG. All right, we've lost the call. All right. Now, as transfer speculation linking Victor Osimhen with Arsenal continues to gain momentum, sources from Football Inside have claimed that an offer of over 60 million euro could be enough for the Premier League champions to convince Galatasaray to sell the Nigerian striker. The Gunners have long been linked, with a move to Osimhen and could firm up that particular interest with a concrete offer for his services in the coming weeks. Recent reports have claimed that Arsenal inquire about the striker's availability during discussions with Galatasaray over the potential transfer for Gabriel Martinelli to the Turkish champions. However, the proposed 60 million deal for Osimhen is said to be separate from any potential move that will involve Martinelli. Victor Osimhen to Arsenal.
Hello, good evening. Oh, do want to call back. Victor Osimhen to Arsenal is still based off on rumors, and we know
How would that make
how,
you feel?
Well, I don't know how it will make me feel. I'm not Victor Osimhen. I'm not Arsenal. But,
No, as a Nigerian football fan.
as an
and a sports reporter.
as long as Victor Osimhen comes to he's delivering his job, because right now it's all about his own happiness as well as where he has put his mind to. All I can come out to say, Victor Osimhen has scored a hat-trick. Victor Osimhen has won the Golden Boot. It's not like I'm the one paying him his weekly allowances. Well, ultimately, I wish him all the best, as well as wishing all Arsenal fans all the best.
It will be interesting to me to watch him in the Premier League. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Obakachi and Nobu.
Good evening, my brother. You're welcome.
First of all, I want to congratulate Cameroon for winning the WAFCON, and also I want to congratulate Arsenal for winning the Community Shield. I want to congratulate them. Talking about my this season, they will collect too. They will collect what. They are accusing FC of signing players. Let them no sign. They will finish 12.
They came for Noble. He said the money they brought was small.
The money is small now. You looked at me and you want to. I suppose they chop past Bruno Fernandes for that team.
What if they did not sign players? They are going nowhere. Players.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Talking about Man City, they need players also. Rodri is going to Barcelona. Bernardo Silva, Real Madrid, Daniel Rangers, and John Stones. So they need the reinforcement. They need to reinforce the team. If not, Maresca is not going to be the team. He's a good coach, but they need to back him up with signings.
Good signings.
Yeah.
So my club tells you, we need a goalkeeper. I'll be crying out for goalkeeper, because last season I was crying out for defender when this guy, Kobe, was injured. Last I was crying out. Let them sign. Instead, they signed small sticky. They signed that was what Chelsea last season from the beginning. You need defense. That last season I was crying out. I need defense.
Don't worry, my brother. Don't worry. There are talks that are linking Mr. Barry Cosmos to Chelsea as their new number one, and as well as Uchenna Clever. There are talks. They are linking these two players.
Very
you understand? Attack-minded Uchenna Clever, and also
defensive solidity of
Barry Cosmos.
For me, I don't watch Sanchez. I don't watch Sanchez. You need a good goalkeeper.
Barry Cosmos is coming. He's coming. All right. Thank you very much, my brother.
All right.
Going over to WhatsApp. Good evening, my lovely presenters, Noble, the sports chef, and Mr. Kachi.
Good evening.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday making money. Happy money making Monday. Anyhow, is here. Hello, my FM sports fans. I am a proud Arsenal princess, and I am so proud of my club Arsenal winning against Manchester City. Do have a nice day, Princess from Iriti.
Princess, do have a nice day too.
A very good evening, Echo FM family. Ejiko Bona is testing from a Humvee community. I'm Udere Zombe. Kachi, I'm very, very happy to see Cameroonian girls carry the African Women Cup of Nations. You know Cameroon is my second home, and I have been receiving calls from that part of the world since yesterday. Kudos to them.
Wow.
Do have a wonderful evening, my people.
You very
too,
much.
Basilio brother. Enjoy your evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Yeah, my brother, good evening, welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to have a good evening.
Good evening, my senior brother. That sounds like John.
Yeah, my name is this and that. I call it from Agba.
This and that. Welcome, you're welcome.
Yes, I know when Obakachi they ask you about to see me coming to Arsenal, you just a turn around as a politician.
Am I a Baba's chair?
Just tell them the answer like yes or no. You just a turn around. Just say yes. You go there happy. I wait you ask you. And for Fulham Chelsea, Fulham 3, Chelsea 0.
Okay.
Arsenal 1 with the Hot City. Man City 6-0 with Christian with the this new promoting team.
Yes.
And my team. Thank you.
All right, so thank you, my brother.
Hello, good evening to you.
Let's go back. Going over to Facebook. This is coming in from John Paul Ike. Good evening, my friend. Please, what happened to Is this
Mo Salah.
Okay, Mo Salah. Mo Salah has gone to
Turkey.
he has gone to Turkey. He has joined Transfer. He's the highest he's the highest earning player in Turkey. He beat Victor Oshimen. Victor Oshimen is now second. Mo Salah is now first.
Don't take off.
Yes. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the show.
This is K Baba.
Yeah, Baba,
what's
welcome.
up,
You're
man?
welcome.
Calling from Wedra.
You're welcome.
I want to know about the Super Falcon, if they are still returning their coach.
Well,
For now, no news about
updates
Madugu.
concerning Madugu. For the meantime, he's still the Super Falcons head coach.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, no
Very-
problem. Hello, good evening. We are
You're
good,
fine.
brother. Welcome.
Yeah, this is the voice of America, one of the last night greatest.
Okay. You're very happy for the.
Wanna trust them.
Yes.
Yeah, we trash Man City
We
yesterday.
won.
Who is the we?
Shots.
We won.
What
We
is-
won and
We
we
want
played-
them. Please.
We grace them. Yes. It's a warning signal to all the whole Premier
Everybody.
League.
Arsenal is coming for the Premier League.
Yes, we are on fire. So
We are on fire.
We are on fire. So we are ready to go. We are prepared ourselves. So they should be very, very scared of us and afraid of us as well, because nobody will catch them. We will beat them left and right.
Okay.
Left and right.
All right.
Let them give my money to buy players.
I am my brother because of time. Because of time. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very
now
much.
we win. We are champions.
Come leave that thing, I beg.
What is-
All right, my friend, this is what we're going to... Tomorrow, if Man U win, somebody will say it's still win. All right, this is what we're going to draw the curtain. But just before then, just let you know that Awoniyi also has made a move. He's moved away from Nottingham Forest. Let's not forget that it was Awoniyi that saved Nottingham Forest from relegation last season, because he scored important, one of them winning Chelsea and even Arsenal. He scored important goals in those matches that helped them towards the end of the season, to avoid relegation. Now he's moving away and he's joining his brother, another Nigerian player,
Frank Onyeka at Coventry
at
City.
Coventry City. So he definitely may be in action as Coventry take on Arsenal on Friday. That's much we're going to take something to talk about. But then, of course, time hasn't always been our friend. Thank you for being part of the show. For those of you who called, thank you. Those who are calling and who called, you couldn't connect, we appreciate you. Those of you watching online, thank you very much for being part of the show. Till we come again tomorrow evening to continue giving you the best from the world of sports. My name is Kachi Sports. My friends call me Man Wesabi.
My name is Remo. Noble Chigos Rim, Noble the Sports Chef, the Fox in the Box, Noble Delight. I wish you all to have a splendid evening. Buenas noches.
All right.